Legalize the herbs with advertising. Give me the herbs in the morning, in the evening, in the night. Smoke the weed because I give me the vibe. Wake up in the morning, need some good sense. Circle some weed base from town to country. Oh yes. Pick up the farmer then, way up planting herbs. Pick up the weed man then, way up cover the herbs. Everybody want to smoke it. Everybody want to smoke it. Don't provoke it. The weed. Farmer then, way up planting herbs. Big up the weed man then, way up cover the herbs. Everybody want to smoke it.
Testing. That was good.
Don't provoke it. No. Ooh, na 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 na.
Testing.
Ooh, na 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 na. Ooh, no, no, no. Yeah. Holy land of Africa. Wrapped up his sweat and stripped off his culture. Holy people of our native land. Forced to reside and found stand. Still through all of this turmoil. Rolling like a child, so free and denied. Though at times we've been so vile. Every now and then, here's a chance to smile. Only for a while. Say, won't you smile? Only for a while. Though you far away, behold, trapped in the cold, ain't no signs of gold. Suddenly I thought the speed of a missile. Trapped in your mind, give the chance to smile. Hold it, smile. Hold it for a while. Say, won't you smile? Hold it for a while. Ooh, no, yeah. Ooh, won't you smile? Ooh, no. Say, won't you smile? Say, won't you smile? Say, won't you smile? Through the years that they have been ignored, withstood the suffering coming in from the cold. Our heroes, they have been so bold. The countless stories forever been told. Their memories still live in our hearts, soothing our minds and souls in our thoughts. They, I know I'll be free, parading the roads like the sweet honeybee. Hold it for a while. Say, won't you smile? Only for a while. The holy land of Africa, wrapped up his wealth and stripped off his culture. Holy people of our native land, they're forced to reside on foreign land. Still to all of this turmoil, running like a child, so free and in the Nile. Though at times we
All right. Thank you all for tuning in to WJC LP 98.3 FM. Welcome to my show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. And shout out to Mr. Marshall, who just joined us on the live. And so with that, yeah, we'll bring him on in just about 10 minutes or so. He's getting all his audio and everything connected nice and right. So thank you all for tuning in to WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago on the dial, right? And ultimately, my name is Jeff Badu, and I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprise LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. And what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, including my marquee company, which is Badu Tax Services, and that's the firm that does tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S., and we also have clients in over 20 countries as well. Then we have the Badu Investments. That's primarily my real estate investment company, and what we do is we invest on essentially the south side of Chicago. So we invest in traditionally underserved communities such as the south side of Chicago in efforts to restore traditionally underserved communities. Then we have the Badu Foundation that provides financial literacy education to the youth ages 6 to 18, and we teach them on topics such as budgeting, saving, investing, and scholarships as well. My purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. All right, so before we get into the real estate discussion, we'll be starting at about 7 to 10 minutes. As usual, we always like to kick it off with the market report. So this report is as of June 25th, 2021, so last Friday. Despite hawkish rhetoric from some high-ranking Federal Reserve officials, equities kicked off last week on an upswing. So we're actually up in the stock market last Monday, enjoying their biggest rally in several sessions. Energy, financials, and industrials helped push the S&P 500 up 1.4%. The Russell 2000 rebounded from a rough prior week, gaining 2.2%, and the Dow gained 1.8%. Excuse me. The global Dow also climbed 1%. And if you're just now tuning in, welcome to WGHC LP 98.3 FM Chicago, where we're live on the radio, and we also streaming on Instagram to my left here. So if you see me looking to my left, we're streaming live on Instagram. That we're also live on Facebook. All right, so we're on 2 separate platforms plus the radio. And today we'll be talking about real estate in just about 7 minutes or so. We got Mr. Marshall, aka Eugene, the real estate guy, who I'll be introducing here pretty shortly. All right, let's talk about last Tuesday. The NASDAQ set a fresh record last Tuesday, and ultimately stocks posted solid gains after the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, ultimately reiterated his views on that inflationary pressures were proved to be transitory and that prices will eventually come down. So transitory, meaning that they don't think inflation will last too long, right? So that's one thing that they're saying, that investors tend to get scared when inflation gets high, right? Because that means that interest rates will probably go higher and things will become more expensive. The Federal Reserve doesn't necessarily really like that, right? So what they do like, investors don't like that. What they do like is low interest rates and low inflation, because then they can use more of other people's money by borrowing the money to make more money, which is something that we tend to do in real estate as well. All right. So overall on Tuesday, the NASDAQ went up 0.8%. Global Dow went up 0.6%. S&P 500 went up 0.5%. Russell 2000 went up 0.4%. And then the Global Dow went up 0.2%. Last Wednesday, let's see what happened. The stocks closed mixed. Russell 2000 went up 0.3%. NASDAQ went up 0.1%. Dow went down 0.2%. S&P 500, which, by the way, is composed of the top 500 stocks in the U.S., went down 0.1%. The Global Dow went down 0.1%. Let's talk about what happened last Thursday. So we had mixed Wednesday. Let's see what happened last Thursday. Both the NASDAQ, by the way, is composed of the top technology stocks in the world today. So both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 reached record highs last Thursday. So they just keep hitting record highs, right? As strong economic reports and President Joe Biden's bipartisan $579 billion infrastructure deal. I believe it started off at $4 trillion, by the way. Now it's down to $579 billion. Infrastructure deal may have provided optimism to investors that the economy is pushing ahead. So since we have to spend less money on infrastructure, they think that the economy is doing pretty good, right? That's just how investors think. All right. And shout out to, let's see here, we got Trenta Ridge. All right. So he said, great work, gentlemen. Great information. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's see what happened on Friday. Let's see what happened here on Friday. Well, actually, on Thursday, let me just give you the results. The Russell 2000 went up 1.2%. The global Dow, or the Dow, went up 1.0%. Global Dow went up 0.7%. NASDAQ went up 0.7%. And then the S&P 500 went up 0.6%. Last but not least, my favorite day of the week, and we got 2 more minutes to go until we get into the topic for the day. Stocks closed generally higher last Friday, with only the NASDAQ falling minimally. Stocks tied to economic recovery essentially performed well. The Dow went up 0.7%. The global Dow went up 0.6%. S&P 500 went up 0.3%. The Russell 2000 went up 0.2%. All right. So as a recap of what happened during the week, first of all, if you're not invested in the market, I strongly recommend that you at least get some dollars in there, because one thing I've learned about the market is that it's usually going up. It's usually trending upwards. And for you to not be in it, even if you only got maybe $100 in there, would be you losing money in a way. All these opportunities, all these things that's coming up, that should not deter you, of course, from looking into other investments such as real estate. Right? But what I'm saying is you should be in the market, whether it's a 401k, IRA, a normal brokerage account, 529 plan. Get in the market somehow, some way. Diversify a little bit. I think it is important to make sure that you at least play, get dibble and dabble just a little bit, even if it's not a lot of money, into the market. So the week ended with each of the benchmark indexes posted gains. The small caps of the Russell 2000 led the way, followed by the Dow, the S&P 500, the global Dow, and then the NASDAQ. All right, so let's see. Let's just give you a recap real quick. Dow Jones is up 12.51% so far this year. That's huge. The NASDAQ is up 11.42% so far this year. The S&P 500 is up 13.79%. I'm sorry, 13.97%. So the S&P 500 is doing great. By the way, speaking of the S&P 500, we'll be hosting an event tomorrow night called Building Wealth on Steroids, where we'll be talking about how to make your money grow on top of even more money. Right, we'll be talking about different strategies to help you grow your money, right? Building wealth on steroids. That'll be from 6 to 7 p.m. Central tomorrow on Zoom, right? So that's something you definitely want to check out. It's basically posted on my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. If you want the RSVP link, you can feel free to check it out there, and it'll be huge. It'll be big, and we'll be having a lot of fun when we talk about that topic. Russell 2000 is up 18.21% so far this year. The global Dow is up 16.02%. Interest rates are at a dead, miserable 0%. That means you can borrow money at such cheap rates nowadays. So far, this week, what to look forward to. One of the most closely watched economic indicators is out this week, which is the employment situation. The labor market has been picking up steam for the past several months. May saw 559,000 new jobs added to the economy, while the unemployment rate and the number of unemployed persons dropped. So that means that we're recovering quite a bit, right, with the unemployment rate. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Yvonne, who just joined us on Instagram. So definitely appreciate you for joining. Also of note is the inflationary trend in wages, which have risen 2% since May of 2020. So basically, the economy is actually recovering. Right, so we're no longer in a recession. Things are going back up. Places are opening back up. Concerts are coming back. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming back. My advice to you is please just be careful out here. There's still a lot of crazy stuff going on. It's some real wild stuff. Actually, one of my buildings, I heard news from my property manager. They said there was actually a shooting right around the building where 11 people got shot on the south side of Chicago. It's crazy, right? So you still got to be careful. But nonetheless, that should not deter you from investing in these neighborhoods. Definitely not. So always understand that you've always got to protect yourself, always got to watch out for your surroundings, but at the same time, please make sure that you're investing as best as you can. All right, so before we get into the topic real quick, let me just give you a quick plug. You are listening to my show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money, live on WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. Just a reminder that you can visit our website, wjcradio.org. Once again, that's wghcradio.org, where you can listen live, not just on the radio on 98.3 FM, but you can actually go online and listen to us at any time. And you can make a donation. We are a 501c3 non-for-profit organization. You can also sign up for our email and many more. All right, so without further ado, I do want to introduce my boy Eugene, Gene the real estate guy, a.k.a. Mr. Marshall. Definitely appreciate you for joining us, Gene. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good, man. Glad to be on board. Glad to be on board.
Yes, sir. Let's do a mic check real quick. One more time, Gene. How's everything going today?
Going well, man. It's Monday. I love Mondays.
Absolutely.
I love Mondays because I'm doing what my purpose is. I'm walking in my purpose.
Absolutely. And what's your purpose?
My purpose is to inspire all of humanity to go all in on living the codes of abundance.
Wow. One more time. Short, sweet, but I love to hear it one more time.
Absolutely. My purpose in life is to inspire all of humanity to go all in on living the codes of abundance.
Wow. Okay. So talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, just give us a brief, background. Talk to us about your story. I mean, how you got started and what the listeners can expect from us today.
Absolutely. Well, everybody that's listening in, the first thing that you should do is share this live with at least 5 to 10 people. Comment done. Let us know you have done that, because today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, not just the financial stuff, but also who you need to become in order to materialize the things that you guys want to have and enjoy in life. So for those who don't know me, my name is Eugene Marshall. I am from the south side of Chicago. I am a professional real estate investor, author, and personal development coach. I enjoy bringing out the best in other individuals because that allows me to bring out the best in me. I also partner with Badu Tax Services, which is a tax firm that specializes in tax preparation, tax representation, and tax planning for individuals and businesses. So today we'll be talking about real estate, how to get started, and why you should invest in real estate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate that, Gene. Yeah, so we're live today on 98.3 FM, Chicago. And we're talking here today about real estate. So we got our good old fellow Eugene, who, he's gonna share some insight about real estate. By the way, we'd love to know, first of all, like Eugene said, please like and share this video so that more people can watch it, so that we can spread the abundance continuum, so that we can spread the word to more people, right? So just like it, share it. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, and then let us know where you're listening from. I know we got a lot of Chicago folks in the house. We probably got some ATL. We got some Florida folks, right? So let us know where you're listening from in the comment. If you have a question, comment, anything like that, please feel free to type it in the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions. We want this to be an open forum, open discussion. One thing that I want to ask the audience, so on top of putting, where you're from, where you're listening from, and also liking and sharing, just let us know, right? Are you currently invested in real estate? We want to know that, right? Just type in the chat, are you currently invested in real estate? And we're going to have a real conversation today. If you're not invested, or if you are invested, how to get even more invested. So Eugene, I do have one question for you real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So why should we invest in real estate? I mean, like, why?
Supply and demand. Like, the number one reason that everybody should be investing in real estate is from I like to talk in concepts, right? Concepts simplify things, and it allows things to resonate with other folks, right?
Okay.
So the reason being is because everybody needs some place to sleep. Everybody needs some place to sleep, right? So when you think about where to park your dollars, right, the money that you've worked hard to earn and or the money you've accumulated through providing value through the form of a product or a service to somebody else, what other better place to place it other than an investment that's going to give you appreciation, an investment that's going to give you equity, and investments that's going to give you cash flow, which is my favorite word when we talk about real estate.
Absolutely.
And also an investment that's going to give you depreciation as well, right? So real estate is one of those things where it's not, should I buy real estate? It's, I must have real estate in my portfolio of assets because it is the abundance game. It's a part of the abundance game, right? And when we talk about building wealth and building massive wealth, there's 3 buckets: business, real estate, and insurance, right? So that's what we have to focus on. And today we're going to talk about real estate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. So if you're just joining us, we're live today on WJC LP 98.3 FM, and we're talking about real estate. We got Gene, a real estate guy in the house, talking about investing in real estate, building wealth. We're having a real conversation today about real estate. We got some comments. Let's see here. We got Cold Peeps, and sorry, or Cold Pep, sorry. Sorry for the background noise. Looks like Chicago is getting a little wild today. But looking to start, he said, looking to start an Airbnb business. Okay, that's awesome. We can definitely talk about that. And then Sean Hunter on Facebook said, Chicago, so from Chicago, and yes, currently finishing up first investment property. Congrats on that, Sean.
Congrats.
That's awesome. And then Stacy, shout out to Stacy. We go way back. She said lives in Pittsburgh, but from Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Absolutely. All right. And then Vincent says, I'm here for this. Hey, absolutely. You know, get some knowledge. And then let's see. Cole Peps said on Instagram, said, listen from Houston, Texas. Shout out to the Texas folks. You know, love Texas for sure. All right, so Gene, I got another question for you. Definitely appreciate the insight on the first question.
Absolutely.
What are the different types of real estate investments out there?
Oh man, there are so many ways to get started in this business. So to kick it off, we can go ahead and start with REITs, right? REITs, or what many may know as real estate investment trusts, which are essentially public traded stocks that that investors can park their money in by leveraging the stock exchange. So if you have a Robinhood account, if you have a TD Ameritrade, if you have a Webull, then you have the power to invest in REITs. And one of the beautiful things that I like about REITs is that REITs are required to return at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders, which make them very attractive because the dividend payout is in most cases substantially higher compared to traditional stocks. So that's why I like REITs personally. And REITs typically own commercial real estate such as hotels, offices, and malls. So to start it off, when we talk about the different types of real estate, one of the first key things that you can invest in is so easy. You can do it with a click of a button on your fingertips if you got a smartphone, is REITs, right? The second thing we're going to talk about is crowdfunding platforms, right? So crowdfunding platforms is essentially another way for those who are looking to get invested in real estate, or pick up real estate as a additional arm to invest in within their portfolio of assets. Then you can leverage crowdfunding platforms such as Fundrise. And what Fundrise does is it gives you an opportunity to invest in real estate. However, some of these crowdfunding platforms only allow what they call accredited investors, right? What an accredited investor is essentially someone who has a net worth of or equivalent to $1 million and or an annual income that exceeds $200,000 if single, or $300,000 if they have a spouse. So essentially what Grant Cardone has with Cardone Capital is essentially a crowdfunding platform that he receives income from and then goes out and buys real estate property with. So we got REITs, and then we have crowdfunding platforms. The next thing we have is residential real estate, which can be single family homes or multifamily homes. And when we talk about residential real estate, you have a multifamily, which is 4 units or less. Also in that, you got single family homes, but you also have commercial residential real estate, which is 5 units or more, right? So we have REITs, crowdfunding platforms, and then we have residential real estate, and then we also have commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is when you have Bank of America as your tenant, right? You have Wells Fargo as your tenant. You have Subway as your tenant, right? You have businesses that are essentially leasing the space from you, right? And then last but not least, we have raw land, right? That is what developers like to invest in. Developers like to purchase raw land, build, and develop something where people can either live in it and or lease it out to other businesses that I named earlier.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. So if you're listening now, we're live on WGHC LP 98.3 FM Chicago, where we're streaming live on Facebook, streaming live on Instagram. We're also on the radio. And today we're talking about building wealth through real estate, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, investment vehicle on the planet. If you look down at your feet right now, you'll probably notice that your feet is touching real estate. And so what does that mean? You've probably got to own it. You own whatever you're putting your feet on. So with that being said, now let's have a real conversation.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about scarcity versus abundance. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so the reality of a scarcity mindset, and this is very interesting because, you know, we have these conversations every Tuesday. One in Clubhouse when we was having Clubhouse, and then, you know, internally within the firm as well.
Yes, sir.
And the reality of where a scarcity mindset comes from is the lack of self-confidence, right? A scarcity mindset comes from the lack of self-confidence, meaning I don't have the belief that I can go out and accomplish more or acquire more than I have right now because I don't believe that I can become more than who I am right now.
Wow.
Right? And so what happens is people put limitations on what they can do, right? But we have to understand that abundance is your birthright. You were born to be abundant. You were born to live an abundant lifestyle. You were born to be abundant in all things that you invest in. When I say invest, I'm not talking about monetary value. I'm talking about things that you actually spend time doing, right? That's your spiritual health. That's your physical health. That's your emotional health. That's your mental health, right? And then that's also your financial health. Now, I put the financial health last because oftentimes we chase that first. But the reality of it is that a lot of us are facing internal roadblocks that's prohibiting us from being able to get to that next level of financial abundance.
Wow.
So when we talk about financial abundance, we have to figure out and start to understand, who do I have to become? What do I need to do more of? What do I need to do less of? What do I need to start doing? And lastly, what do I need to stop doing?
Wow.
And so when we think about all those things, it puts this, you have to reprogram your mind, right? You have to retrain your mind to think at a higher frequency, right? Everything that's around us is vibrating, whether we can see it or not. Your phone is vibrating. That couch you're sitting on is vibrating. That bed you lay down on at night is vibrating. Everything you do has some form of frequency and energy tied to it.
Wow.
The question is, what energy am I allowing myself to receive?
Wow. Wow.
Because whatever you receive, 9 times out of 10 is what you're putting out. So when we talk about a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset, we have to understand what is happening internally first.
Wow. Man, that's deep. I mean, they love it on Facebook. We got a bunch of hearts floating all around. We got a bunch of comments. Let's see. Yeah, Yvonne loves it. We got Stacy loves it. Then we got Sylvia. Yeah, everybody's loving that. That is a great one. So the reason why I asked that question is leading into the next question, and that why are so many people afraid to invest in real estate?
You know what? I just think it's just a lack of information. You know, it's a lack of information, and again, it's coming from a place of scarcity. If you truly have a desire to change the trajectory of your future family, then you know that I need to own real estate. I need this in my portfolio of assets, because let me backtrack. The two most important words in real estate is equity and cash flow.
Yes, sir.
Right? Buy it right, pay it down and pay it off.
Yes, sir.
Buy right, pay it down, and pay it off. What other investment can you buy where the people who live in it or the folks that use it pay it off for you? I don't know one other than real estate.
Yes, sir.
What other investment allows you to depreciate the value of the asset while it appreciates?
That's crazy, right?
Right? You can literally depreciate the value of the asset while it appreciates. So as I make income in my business and I own real estate, I can now depreciate that asset to offset some of my business income. Talk to them.
Okay. All right, so I think you just opened up a whole can of worms real quick. So talk about depreciation. What is that? I mean, what in the world is depreciation, and how does it work in the landscape of taxes? How can somebody benefit from it?
So when we talk about depreciation, the first thing that we got to understand is that depreciation is invisible. Right? It's basically something the IRS came up with to incentivize us. The tax code is nothing but a big incentive plan.
Yes, sir.
That's all it is. It's basically the code to get what you want in America. Right? Hey, Jeff Badu. Hey, Eugene Marshall. If you do X, Y, and Z, I will show you favor. Right? So they came up with depreciation as an avenue for us to reduce our tax liability because we're now supplying housing to the folks that need it.
Yes, sir.
That's essentially all depreciation is. It's essentially allowing us to depreciate the expenses associated with the property because you gotta have maintenance, you gotta have upkeep. But also when you do that upkeep, depending on the type of upkeep you're doing, what are you doing now? I want y'all to think about it. What are you doing now? Now you're playing with the appreciation. Because you got two types of appreciation. You got natural appreciation, and then you got forced appreciation. Forced appreciation is when you, the property owner, now play an active role in driving up the appreciation value of.
That's deep. And speaking of depreciation, shout out to the Infinite Wealth course that was just released today. And I actually just dropped a link in the IG chat. So feel free to check that out. We'll be talking about a lot of different things, right? A whole lot of things, talking about basically tax savings, right? What are some things that you can do throughout the year? How to leverage depreciation on your tax return once you buy that real estate so that you can build more wealth, build more tax-free wealth. And also, for everybody that's listening today, you do get 50% off, right, if you take advantage. So that link will be expiring pretty soon. All you got to do is type in the code ABUNDANCE. So you can catch the course link right on my page in the link in the bio, or I also just posted the link as well in the IG chat. Check out my website, jeffbadu.com. Remember, type in the code ABUNDANCE. Type in the code ABUNDANCE to get 50% off. That's what we're doing for the kickoff. So with that, right, you learn a lot about tax deductions, loopholes, how to build wealth through real estate, how to build wealth through life insurance. It's really a one-stop shop, just to give you some nuggets, right, some tips and tricks. And then I also heard that Eugene got a course too. And you want to share a little bit about your course?
Absolutely. So I got a course called The Renovation Game that essentially teaches folks or individuals, future business owners, right, how to purchase properties, how to get started in real estate, right? Not only get started, but buy properties on a discount. Keyword discount. Everybody loves discount. So I'm going to teach you how to buy the properties that's on clearance. I'm also going to teach you how to get the funding, the capital you need to renovate those properties.
Wow.
If you don't want to renovate, that's fine. I will teach you how to screen general contractors because we know these days everybody is a general contractor. And with everybody being a general contractor, it's so easy for you to be taken advantage of, right? So we have to have systems and screening techniques or protocols in place to protect our investments, to protect our assets, to protect our financial health. Because if you don't, then you're now opening up another can of worms that allow yourself to be a victim to what you don't know. And general contractors operate in a land where most people don't understand the renovation process. So what the course teaches you is how to get started in real estate, how to purchase distressed properties, how to get paid to manage and renovate your own deals, and then you can leverage that capital to buy more real estate.
Wow.
Right? And that's at therenogame.com.
Okay, therenogame.com. Yeah, feel free to drop that link in the chat. Any specials for the people listening today?
Yeah, we're gonna do 50% off today for everybody that's listening.
Okay. What's
everybody
the code?
that's listening.
You got a code or something?
Let's see here.
What are we looking at?
I gotta create a code. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. While Jane is doing that, you're tuned in, I should say, to WJC 98.3 LP live, talking about real estate with Gene, the real estate guy, and we're just talking about building wealth through real estate. And so far, we've been having a great conversation about why we should invest in real estate, the different types of real estate out there, scarcity versus abundance, why people are scared to invest in real estate, the concept of depreciation. And then we also talked about 2 courses. You got my course, which is the Infinite Wealth course, which encompasses taxes, the 3-step wealth building pattern, which is starting a business, reinvesting the profits into real estate, and then reinvesting those profits into life insurance, right? So that's the 3-step wealth track. So you can get that on my website, which is jeffbadu.com. You can check that out, and you can type in the code abundance for 50% off. This is the launch day of the course. And then Eugene also, he said the Reno Game or the Reno Game, what is it? RenoGame.com?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You got your code ready?
I'm trying to set the code up now. We might have to park it until after the live.
Absolutely. No worries, Gene. All right. So while we get that, I do want some audience participation. First of all, let us know where you're listening from. And then also, please like and share this video. Thank you, Yvonne, my beautiful wife, always out there to support and posting the link to the Infinite Wealth course, right? So she has a link out there. Remember, enter the code abundance. You get 50% off on the course, right? She just posted the link on Facebook, and then the link is already on the Instagram. It's also the link in my bio, and I posted about it today. Do want to give a shout out, to the production team. We got John Doe production, and they definitely assisted. Shout out to Jeremiah. We got John Doe Productions that assisted to the with the content and everything like that, and just helping come out with everything. So if you need video production services, definitely feel free to let me know, and I know we'll be able to take good care of you. All right, so some audience participation real quick. Let us know where you're listening from. Sylvia says, and she's enjoying it so far, by the way, listening from the East Coast. Absolutely. Connecticut. Okay. All right. Let me make sure. Yep, I read that right. Okay. And let us know. So we're asking the question, first of all, are you investing in real estate? Right? And if you're not, then why? So are you investing in real estate? This is something for the audience here. Are you investing in real estate? And if you're not, then why? Hopefully by the time you're done listening to this, you'll be motivated, interested to invest. And I learned a rule that you've got to take action within 72 hours of anything that you put your mind to, right? Because if you don't do that, all of a sudden what happens is that it just leaves your mind, bills happen, life happens, and then it's just gone. All right, so take action. For me, I would say try to take action within 24 hours, but they do say 72 hours is a standard rule among many experts. All right. So, Gene, anything you want to share before we get to the next question?
Absolutely. So the code is live. The code is live for 50% off is Badu. The code is BADU for 50% off, and you can get it at the Reno Game. That's THERENO Game, GAME.com.
Absolutely.
Use code Badu, all caps BADU.
Absolutely. All right. You heard it right. TheRentalGame.com, and you can enter the code Badu for 50% off just for listening to this live today, right? That's the special that Eugene is doing for his course, which is teaching you about how basically investing in real estate and making sure that you don't get screwed over by general contractors like I did back in the day. I mean, that is $1 million lesson right there. Trust me. I think you should definitely take advantage of that. All right, Sylvie says, Jeff, capital is the struggle. Down payments, etc., preventing me from being able to. What's the greatest thing that's on the opposite side of fear?
Oh, man. Faith.
Okay. All right. So how can somebody find down payment to fund their real estate?
Oh, let's talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, let's talk about this one. This is my favorite one because this is not saying this is you, but I get this a lot, and this is a lot of folks' excuse is that, hey, I want to get started in real estate, but I don't have the capital to get going. Or, hey, I want to get started in real estate, but I don't have the credit.
Wow.
Right? Or it's both. I ain't got the credit or I ain't got the capital. Well, the reality of it is to succeed in real estate, you need money, knowledge, or relationships. Right? You don't need all three. You just need one of the three.
Wow.
So if you ain't got the credit, that means you need to find somebody that does. If you ain't got the capital, then that means you need to find somebody that does. Right? You have to find the missing pieces to the puzzle.
Wow.
So one way to find capital or to access capital to fund your next real estate deal is find somebody who has a home.
Okay.
Right? Find somebody that has a home, but not just any home. You want to find somebody that has equity in their home. Talk to me, Gene. Why do I want to find somebody that has equity in their home? Well, there's this beautiful thing called a home equity line of credit that we all have access to if we own a home. And what happens is the bank will typically give you 80% of the value of the home minus what you owe. Right? Wow. 80% of the value of the home minus what you owe. So let's just run some numbers real quick. Let me pull up a calculator. Yes, right? Sir. So if you buy a property and you bought a property for $150, right? And you got it for so low because you got the Reno game and I taught you how to get distressed properties and you rehab the property, and after you rehab the property, now the property is worth 150. Well, excuse me, you're all in 150. Purchase and rehab costs 150. Okay. Right? But the ARV of the property is 300. So if you take 300,000 and the bank will give you 80% of that, that's 240,000. Right? Minus what you owe. What do you owe? Your all-in amount of 150,000. So if you take 240,000 minus 150,000, what do you have now? 90,000. Right? So now you just created a capital partner or somebody that can invest in your deal. That partner now has $90,000 that they can invest in your deal. Right? By leveraging a home equity line of credit. And I want to be clear. I'm not talking about a home equity loan. I'm talking about a home equity line of credit.
A HELOC.
A HELOC.
Yes, sir.
There's two different, right? A HELOC has what we call draw periods, right? Those draw periods are typically between 5 to 10 years. However, you can't apply and ask for an extension, right? After that draw period is done, you then enter the repayment phase, right? So you got 5 to 10 years to play with 90,000. And it's a home equity, it's a line of credit, meaning that you can use it over and over and over again rather than a home equity loan where you can't. Right? So when I hear people talk about, oh, I don't have the money, well, okay, well, first up, I need to find somebody that do. Well, what if they ain't got the money in the bank? Okay, do they got a home? Does the home have equity in it? Now, let's go ahead and build that profile. Let's build that profile. Okay, this person got a home. What else they need to have, Gene? Good credit. Okay, what else they need to have, Gene? It's probably best that they have some form of income coming in as well, and they're employed. Okay, and then what's more importantly than all of that, they're a trusted partner.
Got it.
They're a trusted partner. So that's one way that you can get the capital to fund your deal.
Got it. Okay. Now, what about these low down payment programs? Can you tell me a little bit something about that?
Oh man, you got FHA, baby.
Yes, sir.
3.5% down. It don't get that's one of the sweetest ones. 3.5% down. Right? 3.5% down. And then you have programs such as NHS, Neighborhood Housing Services in Chicago, that'll give you up to $20,000 as a down payment on your property.
Okay.
So the resources are out here. You have to tap into the resources.
Wow.
And there's all types of grants out there as well.
Okay. So is it true? So does that mean that you can buy a home today with no money down?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, so hopefully, Sylvia, we answered your question. You said that you don't have money for the down payment, and Eugene just gave you some magical formulas, secrets, and I'm sure he shares more in his therentalgame.com course that he has available. Right? He just shared that you can pretty much leverage other people's properties so that you can get some equity out of that property and basically become a partner with them, where you're pretty much creating wealth from nothing, at least none of your own, at least. And then you have programs such as the FHA loan program that allows you to get a down payment assistance program for up to $20,000. Right? Some down payments out here about 15 grand. I've seen a down payment of 10 grand. I've seen a house where somebody bought it and they actually got paid at closing, which is insane. Not only did you create wealth, but they actually gave you cherry on top as well. Right? So that's awesome. And Sylvia says thank you. She'll try to sign up for the course. Right? Take action. Take action immediately. Within 24 hours, you want to take action, because the thing is, after 72 hours, this information is not. It might not be relevant, at least not to you. So the sooner you take action, the sooner you learn how to create wealth from nothing, the better. So if you have nothing, hey, at least you have knowledge. You're listening here live on WJC LP 98.3 FM. And then there's tons and tons of resources. Check out my website too, jeffbadu.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.com, jeffbadu.com, where there's infinite resources on that website. So Eugene told you there, you can basically get started with pretty much no money. Right? You can buy a house with no money. Now, of course, it's always better if you have some money. Right? If you're getting started with some money, that's better. But understand that some people got into this game without any of their own actual money. Instead, they had knowledge, they had the wisdom, they had the courage, and they were fearless to go out and achieve their dreams. I remember when I got started in real estate back in 2017, I was scared to death. Right? Actually, for me personally, I made some mistakes along the way, but eventually I was able to correct them, and those mistakes allowed me to do much bigger and better things now, and I learned early. I failed fast, and I was able to recover from all of that. Right? So now they're giving you the opportunity to buy a home with as little as 3.5% down payment, and then if you're a VA, right, if you're a veteran, you can get it with 0% down payment, clean, no cash. Right, that's insane. All right, so Gene, what's your favorite? I mean, what's your favorite type of real estate? Like, what do you do personally?
Yeah, my favorite type of real estate is real estate that cash flows.
Okay,
that's it.
All right,
that's my favorite type of real estate. If it cash flows, is my type.
Okay,
right. And for a lot of people, for a lot of investors, everybody got their own niche, right? So for me in particular, I'm not a developer, and at this point in time, I have no desire to be a developer. And the reason being is because when I buy, I want to cash flow the next day. I want to close the next day. When the first of the month come around, I'm ready to start receiving payment.
Okay.
Right? Versus when I have to develop, I got to sit back and I got to wait. Right? I got to build the infrastructure. And then I got to find somebody to sell the infrastructure, right? So there's a bit more of a longer waiting period on the development angle. So for me, in particular, I like cash flowing, producing assets where the infrastructure is already there. Immediately when I buy, I'm cash flowing, right? And so you can cash. I don't buy single family homes. Multifamily only. I do not buy single family homes as an investment property because the margins on that is slim to none. right? For the headache and the maintenance associated with owning single-family homes, in my own personal opinion, it's not worth it.
Not at all.
Right? The same effort that it takes to buy a single-family home, Jeff will tell you, is the same effort that it takes you to buy a 30-unit building.
Yes, sir.
Right? So instead of buying 1 unit, buy 30 units.
There you go.
Because what happens if that one person stops paying?
You're out of luck.
Then what you do? But if you got 30 units and even 5 of them stop paying, you're probably more than likely still going to be in good shape.
Wow.
Right? Because you have multiple units, you have multiple doors. So for me, I like properties that cash flow, and I like to buy multifamily properties.
Wow.
Right? Not single family homes, not raw land, because I like to make my money as soon as I buy.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
And
sir.
real estate investors, they make their money up front. Right? You make your money up front by buying right. That's why it's important for you to follow those concepts. Buy right, pay it down,
Yes, sir.
pay it off.
Pay it off. There you go. Wow, that is excellent advice, Gene. Definitely appreciate you for sharing that. And me personally, yeah, that is all I touch, right? If it don't cash flow, it gotta go. If it don't cash flow, it gotta go. I need the cash flow from the very, very first day that I buy the building. All right, so we got about 6 more minutes left here, Gene. All right, so if you're tuning in just now, we're live on the radio, WJC LP 98.3 FM. And we're here with Gene, the real estate guy, talking about real estate and the importance of investing in real estate and just having a real conversation about the topic, right? We've got to own it and we've got to control it as well. So can you tell us, really last question is this concept of multi-generational wealth. Like how can real estate allow us to build the multi-generational wealth for people that look like you and I usually don't really have?
Hey, look. It's not about what you own. It's about what you control.
Yes, sir.
Right? Own nothing but control everything. And real estate gives you the power to literally position your future family for generations to come. How so? Because of the 2 most powerful words that I talked to you guys about earlier that are in real estate. Equity and cash flow. Okay? Equity and cash flow. You can literally pass down a $120,000 cash flowing producing asset to your heirs.
Wow.
And if you own it for 30 years, right? Because typically we get a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage. If you own it for 30 years, now you're passing down that asset to your heirs debt-free.
And tax-free.
And tax-free. Right? Which is Jeff's favorite words, 2 favorite words in the world, tax-free.
Yes, sir.
And the second one is probably generational wealth.
Yes, sir.
Right? So you can now pass down cash flowing producing assets, right? With a ton of equity in them, tax-free. And because you were smart and because you know that raising a child or building a family is about having the proper training, you taught them as they was coming up. So now they know that they can leverage those assets, keyword leverage, to keep building more wealth.
Wow. Wow.
Because if it's equity in the property and they want to keep those properties, what can they do?
Man, that's fire.
What can they do? Borrow from the equity.
Wow.
And just rinse and repeat.
Man.
So you literally set your family up for generations to come just by doing one simple investment. You could buy 1 property a year for the next 30 years.
Woo.
Right? And if you like Jeff, you probably buy 30 units at a time. So if you buy you buy 30 units a year for the next 30 years, what is that? Like 3,000 units? Somewhere around there. Right? Just imagine passing down that much amount of cash flow. Or even if, let's go smaller. You buy 1 property a year. Right? For the next 30 years, there's 30 properties. Right? 2 doors apiece. That's 60 units that you pass down debt free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Gene. So we are running out of time. Definitely appreciate you for joining us. And looks like my phone on Instagram is going to die here soon. Real quick, can you share with us some contact information, final words, anything you want to share with the crowd today?
Absolutely. So the number one thing that I want to share with you guys is to take action. You can manifest don't mean sit still. Manifest mean believe that I can do it and show the universe that you can do it by taking the action.
Wow.
Right? So if you don't take nothing else from this live today, that's take action. Right? You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at __ Mr. Marshall.
Okay.
You can find my course on therenogame.com. That's TheRenogame.com.
Wow. Okay. Yes, sir. Well, let me end the live before they they shut down this phone. Yeah, because there's sometimes with this phone, for whatever reason, when I do the IG live, you know, the battery starts dying early. I don't know why, but hey, you know, we always got to do what we got to do no matter what. So let me go ahead and get this posted, and let's go ahead and get it wrapped up. So definitely appreciate that, Gene. So I wanted to get that posted on IG Live on the IGTV page. So if you were listening, right, this is something that's recorded on the radio. So you can always rewatch it at any time you want. You can always, you know, you can take notes. So if you are listening, right, you always want to be taking notes. And Eugene definitely gave us some powerful nuggets, some very, very powerful stuff that we can all utilize and we can all take advantage of today, right? Action begins now. We've got to take action now. So definitely appreciate that, Gene. Looks like we are out of time. It's at 8 o'clock on the dot. And definitely appreciate you, bro, for definitely sharing
Thanks
your
for
insight.
having me.
Absolutely. I think they definitely gained a lot of insight today. And, you know, you can always learn something new. Check out the event we got tomorrow night from 6 to 7 p.m. Central called Building Wealth on Steroids. Feel free. I got the flyer that was posted on my Facebook page, on IG page as well. We'll be live. We'll have some fun. And we'll have a real conversation about your relationship with money. We'll talk about something very, very important as it relates to wealth building. And then if you do want to RSVP, we have the RSVP link that was posted on the social media. Or just shoot me an email at jeffbadu@gmail.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu@gmail.com. Check out therenogame.com for Eugene's course. Remember, 50% off just for listening today. And the code is Badu. Once again, the code is Badu. And then check out the Infinite Wealth course, which just came out today. And you can catch that on my website, jeffbadu.com. Code is Abundance to get 50% off. And it's a very, very limited time special. People have already started signing up. So with that, definitely thank you all for joining. Thank you, Gene, for being a part of us today.
Absolutely.
My name is Jeff Badu, and I look forward to continuously delivering you all some content. Thank you.
Thanks.